Google officially launched Gemini 3 Pro and established a new ceiling for artificial intelligence, as this wasn't some incremental update. Even rivals are taking note. CEO of OpenAI Sam Altman tweeted out saying Gemini 3 Pro looks like a great model. Gemini 3 Pro is now the most intelligent model on the market right now, and it just breaks through all the benchmarks, and its raw intelligence translates to functional depth. Tester Dan Schipper has noted the model's ability to synthesize, retrieve, and to interpret large data sets and documents that other models struggle with. Google DeepMind CEO Demis Hassabis has stated that this model is the strongest in the world for multimodality, and this is moving the AI from simply reading text and images to actually understanding what you want. And the power of this model serves one purpose, and that is delegation. CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, has noted that this model is the best for agentic capabilities and vibe coding, and this model can actually take autonomous action. In this video, we're going to jump right into testing Gemini 3 just to see its capabilities. Unfortunately, I don't have access to the agentic capabilities of Gemini right now, as I do not have the expensive Ultra plan, but that will be rolling out to Pro users sometime in the near future, which I'll be covering the agentic capabilities. So we're gonna go over a few prompts in Gemini 3. We're gonna analyze video, images, have some vibe coding, all to test its capabilities. So let's get to testing. Okay, so you can see we're in the Gemini web app now. Gemini 3 is available to free users. I do have the Pro account. To access Gemini 3, we just go into this drop-down menu and choose the Thinking through complex topics with 3 Pro. So make sure that is active. So let's go over our first test here. I'm gonna upload a video of me deadlifting and then get feedback on my form. So go ahead and show you the video real quickly here. Just me repping out. All right, so I just do a few more reps, go ahead and upload the video, and go ahead and add our prompt in. So analyze this video in detail, identify specific moments where I could improve my deadlift technique, and give me timestamps, describe what you see, point out strengths and weaknesses, and create a step-by-step training plan to help me improve. So it's still uploading here. Okay, let me go ahead and submit. And then, so this really demonstrates the multimodal capabilities of Gemini 3 Pro. For what it's worth, the benchmarks, it does score an 87% on the video MMMU benchmark. I don't really pay attention to benchmarks. It's all about just the practical use of artificial intelligence. So benchmarks really don't mean much, in my opinion. Yeah, they're cool to look at. They're cool to see, what percent they're scoring, how well they're doing on a humanities last exam, and all these other tests that LLMs are put through. But it really just depends on the practical use of that large language model, in my opinion. Okay, so with the multimodal capabilities of Gemini 3 Pro, it does go frame by frame and process audio and video. So that's really, really cool with this model. Okay, let's see what it has to say. Grind through heavy reps. So it's telling that I'm like grinding hard. My facial expressions, mechanical inefficiencies. Okay, at 13, watch your hips. You have them very low, almost like a squat before you pull. As you begin to push, your hips shoot up 6 to 8 inches before the weight actually leaves the floor. This means your squat setup isn't actually contributing to the lift. Your body is automatically correcting to find a leverage point where your hamstrings are tight. Okay, let's see, 13 seconds. Yeah, so that is, I do have like a squat-like form right there, and the weight does not move until I go up in the squat a little bit. So that's correct there. That should be corrected. My body's automatically correcting to find the leverage point where your hamstrings are tight. So yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, and then 27 seconds, rep 2. So it's even counting the reps here. As the fatigue sets in, your lower back begins to round, flexion, because your hips shot up early, your legs are almost straight while the bar is still below your knees. This forces your lower back to act as a crane to lever the weight up rather than using your glutes and hamstrings to drive through. So let's see that as well. 27 seconds. So was that actually rep 2? So you have rep 1, 2, 3. So it was wrong there. Okay, so it does, my back does round a little bit. To round, Yeah, hips are shooting up a little bit early, a little bit straighter. So yeah, it didn't count the rep correctly, but it was good form correction here. And then 41 seconds, let's see. The lockout is soft. You're leaning back with your torso, but your knees aren't fully locked and your hips aren't fully extended forward. Not using my hips and my legs as much in unison with the deadlift. Okay, so overall, really good analysis here. Didn't count the reps quite right. Grip and determination, using straps or your connection to the bar looks solid. You also have the mental grit to push through difficult reps. Bar path, despite the hip mechanics, the bar stays reasonably close to your body. You aren't letting it drift inches away from your shins, which is a common error. Yes, it is very close to my body. I always make sure I do that with deadlifts. So good analysis here. Yeah, the grip was good. Key areas for improvement, the hip shoot. Yes, definitely need to fix this. You're trying to squat the weight up. Yeah, lose tension in the hamstrings. Your hips should start exactly where they end, up right before the bar breaks the floor in this video. You need a higher starting hip position. Definitely something to try out. Lack of pulling the slack out. You're ripping the bar off the floor, going from 0 to 100% force instantly because there is space between the bar and the plates. The jerking motion pulls your body out of position before the weight moves. Yeah, I've noticed that in my deadlifts a little bit. When I go a little bit heavier, there's that slack. And then the rounding. So the rounding, I wouldn't say it's super rounded. My back, I definitely felt it a little bit. So not 100% perfect form, but definitely something to always note, the rounding of your back. So let's see the training plan. Yeah, drop the weight. Good idea. Always when you're changing form, just drop the weight. Okay, stance. Grip the bar, do not drop your hips yet. Shin contact, bend your knees just enough until you shin touch the bar. Stop there. Chest up, lats tight. Yep, always good cueing techniques. Pull slack, pull up gently on the bar until you hear the click. You should feel heavy in your hands. Yep. Step 2, the movement cue. Current cue, you're likely pulling up. New cue, push the floor away. That's a really good cue. Push the floor away. Okay, accessories, your next step for next session. Warm-up routine, glute activation, hip hinging to prepare for your new technique. So there you go. It even has warm-ups, warm-up routine to help with my specific issues. It's asking for that. So overall, this is really good. Like I basically have a personal trainer. As long as I just take videos, I can just feed them back into Gemini 3 Pro. And yeah, this is really good. This is really spot on with a lot of things. I made sure to choose a video where I felt like, my form wasn't 100% and I know I could use some improvements on it. So yeah, definitely good here. Okay, this brings us to our next test here. We're gonna test the vibe coding of Gemini 3 Pro. We go ahead and activate the canvas and we can see the code that it's creating in the canvas and then make any changes if necessary. So this is gonna help show Gemini's 3 vibe coding capabilities, its coding capabilities from just a simple prompt. Okay, let's add in our prompt here. Create a personal budget tracker with charts, build a secure web app for tracking my spending and savings. Let users add income and expenses with tags like groceries, rent, entertainment, blah, blah, blah. Show monthly, yearly totals, display interactive charts, include exporting data to CSV, make the design clean and simple, only use free frameworks, tell me how to deploy it online step-by-step without writing any code. So fairly basic description, doesn't go super in-depth into anything, but gives it just a good direction to go with it. And gives it features to build out so we can see if it follows these directions. So let's see how well this does. Okay, here we go. Starting to write the code in the canvas. Okay, create an index.html file. Also already outputted the deployment steps. So for all of you who are not familiar with vibe coding, it's basically just using the natural language, English language, any language to create any type of software, web app on the computer, have it create the code without you writing a single line of code. And there are really popular tools out there like Windsurf, Cursor, Claude Code, Codex from OpenAI, some that you put in your IDEs like Cursor, and then like Claude Code, which lives in your terminal. We can also do it in the actual application, in any app really, whether that's Anthropic Claude, ChatGPT, or Gemini here. So it looks like we got an error. Go ahead and fix error. Okay, so here we go. We have the budget tracker. We have the preview. Call it Zen budget. See the spending, savings goals. Added a goal, vacation, target, $2,000. Add it. There we go. It works. We can see it. Add transactions to see trends. No expenses yet. Then we can download the budget export. We can go to transactions. Move this. Add a transaction. This works as well. To say $200, $300 for food. Date. This works. The calendar picker works. A lot of times when I vibe coded apps, this just never works. And it's on the correct date too. It's today. So let's just say the 30th. Description. Sure, tacos. We're gonna spend $300 on tacos. Add expense. There it is. Total savings minus 300. We can see it right there. Tacos, food. Let's add another one. Let's add income. I am a millionaire. I don't know if that's enough zeros. Salary. Investment. A boss at investing. Dalio. Add the income. I made it all today. Okay, there we go. That works. $1 million minus 300 for tacos. Expenses, income. Perfect. Go back to the dashboard. There we go. And it works. Interactive. Add expense. See the categories. See this update. Then go back to the dashboard and transactions. There we go. We can see more of the breakdown. Okay, we can see our goal. $2,000. Savings trend. We can see it change as well. So this works. This absolutely works. Could be a better design, of course, but this is working right out the gate. We didn't have that one error that we needed to fix, and that we did. All the features work. Let's just make sure it works. Remove this. Oh, there we go. This looks like it doesn't delete it. There's one feature that doesn't work. Let's remove this. This works. So yeah, this is the only feature that looks like it doesn't work. The transactions. Let's download this. Okay, and then here's the CSV that I exported. You can see, there it is. I exported it twice. Here's the second export. So yeah, it has everything that we have included in the apps. So this works really well. So basic example, something more practical. You could have gotten this before Gemini 3 Pro, but it looks like just the overall quality of it is better as far as you one-shotting it just with one prompt, and a really basic prompt too. Okay, so let's go ahead and vibe code one more app here. Put in our prompt, make sure the canvas is on, have a look at it. Create a family recipe manager web app that has a modern design with Tailwind CSS. Just the styling of the web app. So try and get a better result with the design for this. So build a cozy website for organizing and sharing family recipes. Allow me to add new recipes with title, ingredients, instructions, a meal category, and a photo upload. Show all recipes on the homepage filter. On the homepage, filterable by meal. Okay, each recipe has a printable format button. Users can favorite a recipe to save it later. Add a random recipe button for inspiration to make it look warm, inviting, and usable on desktop and mobile. Give me a step-by-step guide to launch it for free online. We'll just remove this part. Okay, so let's see how it does. Okay, so we're generating the code now. Okay, so here's what we got. Yeah, definitely a little more visually appealing. Heirloom Kitchen Manager. It's a nice little animation there. So we have our recipes and favorites. So really nice, yeah. Pretty good design here. Highlight on the buttons. So yeah, let's have a look. Cook something wonderful today. Let's go back to our prompt so we can see if it built out everything. A cozy website. This is fairly cozy. Okay, add recipes. Let's see. Okay, an image. See if this works. Yeah, upload the image. 4. Prep time, probably 30 minutes. Cook time, probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So just fill in some dummy information here. I gotta, of course, generate this with AI, of course, but just dummy information. Ingredients, pancetta, pasta, eggs, pepper, pecorino. Okay, save recipe. There it is. Doesn't give the right number of ingredients, it looks like. Yeah, it's missing. Oh no, I messed up. I had the instructions. I mixed it up. Instructions and ingredients. So this is right. This is right. Prep time 30 minutes. Cook 15 minutes. Serves 4. You print this. Does that work? No. Save it. Go to favorites. There it is. It's saved. The image. Dinner. So it has all these nice tags to it. This is working pretty well. So then we can have the filters. Just dinner. Nana's Sunday. A pot roast. Lunch. Let's see what this one is about. Yeah, we're probably watching me put in the ingredients in the wrong place and instructions and like, no, don't do it. Okay, what's this button? Oh, random recipe. We're cycling through them. That's pretty cool. Search ingredients. Eggs. Oh, go to all. Boom. Eggs in the pancakes. Pancetta. Boom. So the filter works as well. The search filter works. So, okay, allow me to add a recipe with title, ingredients, instructions, meal category, and photo upload. Yes. Show all recipes on the homepage. Filterable by meal type and searchable by ingredient. Yes. Meal type, ingredient. Each recipe has a printable format button. It does. It does not work though. Try it again. Try it on this one. Print. Nope, doesn't work. Users can favorite. Favorite, yep, that worked. Unfavorite as well. Yep, that worked. Go back to browse all recipes. That's nice. So it has the setup for different setups that you have, whether you have no favorites or not. A lot of times, vibe coded apps won't include that. Okay, favorites, add a random recipe button for inspiration. Yep, that was up here. Make it look warm, inviting, and usable on both desktop and mobile. And we also have these other features here, select and ask. So we can select this, make this look more visually appealing. Don't just include text and a colored background. Let's just see what this does. So that's nice that you can select in the canvas exactly what you want to change. So that's really cool. So you can really be quick with your designing, your changing around of elements on a web page, web app. Let's see what it's come up with. Yeah, definitely better. So it's not going to pick out images. You'll need to provide images for it. Although it did pick out images here. So that's something that it struggles with. But yeah, this is definitely better. It's more engaging. And having an image back there with this like gradient overlay would look good. So yeah, okay, job there. Okay, so let's do one final prompt here to test the capabilities of Gemini 3. And I'm going to feed it some images of a room that has a studio set up with a computer and for recording, and ask it to create the ideal setup, just rearrange everything so it can fit in a small space. So I have the images here. Okay, small space with a bed in it. Okay, we have our images showing the room. All right. So we'll go ahead and add these here, add in our prompt. So these images, it would have been better if it got the bottom of the room as well. Just kind of the floor a little bit more. That would help better. I've noticed that when using Gemini or just any app, you want to make sure you get the full picture of everything, the full video, full picture. That way it knows exactly what's happening. Because sometimes it can just make stuff up if it doesn't see bottom halves of things. For example, I did a test with another video of me squatting and I didn't record my feet, and then just made stuff up that my heels were off the ground, which they weren't when I was squatting, but I didn't record my feet. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. Okay, just format this just a little bit. All right, so let's have a look at the prompt. I have a very limited space in this room. I need to set up a YouTube studio that allows me to record talking head videos where I'm working on my computer. Help me arrange a studio setup that allows for one key light and one fill light. Allows for a 2-camera setup, one with my webcam on my desk, one with my DSLR camera to record talking head videos. Provide multiple options for a studio setup and images of these setups. I've provided images of the room as it is now. So we can also add a nano banana and then go off and see what it does. Okay, so it didn't provide the images. We'll reprompt it here. Let's just see what it says so far. Biggest obstacle you face is the triple monitor wall. Because you have 3 large screens, placing a DSLR for talking head videos is tricky. Here's how you can optimize it. The window backdrop, a space saver. The layout to move your desk to the wall with a large window. Image 9597. 9597. Okay, so moving the desk here. Okay, so that becomes the backdrop. This adds symmetry. The bed stays exactly where it is or rotates slightly. It opens up the corner where the desk used to be for your storage pegboards, making the room feel less cramped. Yeah, so definitely this helps. The pegboard corner visual interest. Keep the desk on the wall as it currently is or slide it slightly toward the closet. Camera and lighting placement. 2-camera solution. You don't have the floor space for a tripod standing in the middle of the room. Correct. Yeah, it's too small of a space. You need to get your gear off the floor and onto the desk. Webcam, DSLR camera. This can be tricky with triple monitors. Yep. Do not use a floor tripod, but buy a desk clamp mount, like an Elgato Master mount or generic C-stand for desk. So Elgato, really big brand for recording equipment, streaming equipment at your computer. So good suggestions here. The lighting. You requested a key and fill setup in the small room. Soft light is crucial to avoid harsh shadows. Okay, key light position this at a 45-degree angle. Yep, that's the normal angle. Height, okay, mount. If possible, clamp to the desk. Fill light or place this on the opposite side. Okay, summary, desk move. I highly recommend option 1, move the desk to center. It's in front of the large window. This separates your work zone from your sleep zone. The bed and gives you most symmetrical background. I mean, that could work. Well, I mean, if the bed's right there, I mean, you can move the bed though, slightly angle it, so it could be in the center. Yeah, so that's a good suggestion. In any case, this room is always kind of awkward just because of that bed that's there. So I specifically chose images that have obstacles just to make it difficult on the AI, so it can work around these complex problems. Because this is a thinking model, so you want it to think deeply about questions and come up with solutions to your problems. Not just asking surface level questions, have it really analyze. Yeah, mount everything to your desk background. Okay, LED strip. Okay, so yeah, 2 options there. Having one in front of the window and having one with the pegboard stuff here. Now create images showing options 1 and 2 of the setup. Okay, here's option 1. So not quite the option. Having the window as a backdrop, added some things here. But it seems like it has a lot of the same stuff there. There's a keyboard that was on this little desk thing right here. It seemed to move this accurately or replicate it accurately. Okay, so this one kind of gets it as 2 studio setups now, but having this be in the corner next to it, so it's not quite there. Create a 2D visual layout of options 1 and 2 so I can understand where to place the items in the room. So let's give it another prompt here. So the text was good. It understood the room. It understood where to place things, obstacles that were in the room. So this did a good job. Images, not so much. Let's see. So that's nice. Okay, so here's the door. Here is where the window is. So here's the desk, yeah. Desk, yeah, inflatable mattress. So it's got that right. So it's showing that it's not quite giving the right dimensions of it. It's not a square. It was protrudes a little bit. So moving the pegboards, that would be a pain though, but it's definitely an option. Both lights, camera, option 1. Option 2. So it doesn't quite get it. Has 2 desks. So it struggled a little bit. It doesn't quite understand here. I mean, you have 3 lights here. You have two key lights, tall floor lamp. I believe we had that in the other one too. Yeah, tall floor lamp. No, that actually is correct. No, that is correct. There is a lamp here. Right here. So that is correct. There are 3 lights. And then option 2, still moving the pegboard. Because right now the pegboard is right next to the door. This is where the pegboard is. So let's just reread this. Yeah, so option 2, this is correct. It understands the layout here, but it's just not visualizing it correctly in the images because it's moving the pegboard in option 2 in the image here, which is not the case. Again, the pegboard's over here. So you could still reprompt here and change things and see if you can get it to have the right layout. You can feed in the information again, just feed in this specific information, say have the correct placement. That could work. But still, yeah, it's not perfect, but still very useful as you saw. So those were the prompts that we used to show the capabilities, and you could see that this is a pretty impressive model and what it can do. So I hope you enjoyed those examples. We just throw in some prompts to test the capabilities. And to be honest, I'm very impressed with it. Again, it's the top model right now of all benchmarks, but it all comes down to the testing that you do with them. And really the only way that you'll know just how good this is if you test it and you test it with your prompts and just get more familiar with the model and see its capabilities. Of course, this was only just a small example of what you can do with the model and how capable it is. There are so many other things that I could have done with the prompting, with looking more into seeing exactly what it could do. But again, that just comes down to experimenting and just seeing what is possible with it. So as you can see, this was quite an impressive model. It did quite a lot when we went through the video of me deadlifting, when we did some vibe coding, and when it looked at the images and gave me suggestions for the layout. Did struggle a little bit on the images, but overall incredibly impressive. So when it comes to testing these models, it really just comes down to you testing the model yourself, and you can test it for free or in the OpenAI playground as well. If you want to use more of the model, the prompting, of course, is limited with the free plan. You can use Gemini 3 today if you are on a free plan. So this wasn't meant to be an exhaustive list of prompts to show you. It was just to show you just the initial capabilities of it and what it can do. So get out there. So if you like these videos, want to see more tutorials on artificial intelligence, be sure to like and subscribe and start getting into Gemini 3 and prompting, and let me know how it goes. So hop into Gemini 3, start prompting, and let me know how it goes.